we go. Awesome. So yeah, unfortunately, with all the new players coming in today, the games probably aren't going to be super duper exciting. But hopefully, I can still make some interesting commentary. I might focus a bit on like the basics, like kind of the how-to on this one, if I can remember. Cool team. 2 Val, 2 Backbiter, 2 Siege Archer. See what the stats are like. High strength, high armor Val, so it probably doesn't have any willpower spending, any exertion. Max strength, it looks like he's not got any exertion on either of these Val, so I don't have to worry about them charging unusually large distances, so if I keep just out of their range, it's probably ideal. 4 squares, that would mean not moving forwards. So I won't be super lame, I'll move up. So I might go for the old 1-2 punch here, spend a willpower, charge in armor break, charge in deal damage. I really like taking out Warhawks early on, knocking their strength down below the armor of my units. So that way they're not really a threat anymore. And you'd see he acted first, moving forwards kind of exposed him, which makes this old 1-2 punch super powerful. So I'm working on this idea of the moment of trying to set up pairs of moves. So if you're running in and you're breaking the armor of a unit, you want to follow up with a strength attack as soon after that as possible. So that way they can't leverage their strength to do damage to any of your units. So that's an interesting point the guy asked. So what's the difference between the blue and the brown tiles? Basically the blue tiles are the natural movement range of a unit, and the brown tiles are how far you can move if you spend willpower. So my guy here has 4 willpower, he's got 2 exertion, so he can move up to 2 extra squares if he spends willpower. So here he's spending 1 willpower so he can get all the way in and get off a nice, not very juicy actually, melee attack. But I just want to make sure his strength is down to about the level of the armor of my guys. That's my priority. So this 1-2 punch against a big unit like the Wild Hawk probably needs to be a 1-2-3 punch, and against something like a Provoker it's probably more like a full combo. So not really ideal. Against lighter armor targets though, the old 1-2 punch works pretty well. So you can see he didn't have any armor break on this Backbiter. That means that the Backbiter's pretty much useless unless someone else has broken the armor first. This guy... I'm going to move up to here and just knock off some armor on this Provoker for now. So you can see I'm spending a lot of willpower early. It's not necessarily ideal. Means I won't have it later, but if I can get in, you know, eliminating threats or knocking off a lot of armor with it, then it's probably worthwhile. I'm not sure if that's the case here though. Okay, so you just comboed my Backbiter, so I'll go in. I'm actually going to move to here. No, that was dumb. Oh well. But I'm going to break the armor, then my Warlock can follow up. So there's actually a bunch of guides on the forum. There's two or three now. Two major ones by Stoic themselves on how to upgrade units, what all the different classes do, what their special abilities are, also how to put together a team, changing initiative order and all that kind of thing, what all the stats do. So there's a couple of really good guides from Stoic with lots of nice pictures and stuff like that. Definitely read those if you're new to the game. They also just posted the video that comes along with the announcement of this paid public beta for factions. It has a lot of the details, like how strength and armor break interact. So definitely check that out as well if you can. And then there's actually two guides made by players. One of them is by yours truly. I don't really go into the detail of, like, you know how much damage you'll do in this situation or when this skill's really useful. I just try to paint things in broader strokes. Just like talking about how to evaluate different turns and like just different ways of thinking about the game. I'll probably get into some of that stuff in later vodcasts, but at the moment I'm still learning how to play and how to apply my guide to the game. So I'm still coming along a bit there. But yeah, hopefully the guide can help people think about, how to approach the game and how to think about what they should be doing on their turns and when should they attack strength rather than armor and when should they attack armor rather than strength. All of those kinds of good general principles. And there's another guide by possibly one of the best players in the game at the moment. He's got a lot more detail than I have in my guide, so lots of juicy tidbits on exactly when to do what. So I definitely recommend that guide as well. There's heaps and heaps of good information in it. And that's Raven's guide. And if you go to the forums, the beta discussion forum, there's a post at the top by a fellow streamer. I can't pronounce his name, but I'll just call him RK for short. That's got links to all the guides, links to all the streams, links to everything you can think of. Any interesting discussion that's been had about game mechanics in that forum, he's got a link to it basically. So definitely check that out as well if you haven't already. Also, feel free to hang around in the chat on the Stoic website. There's always a couple of people in there talking about the game, various aspects of the game. There's lots of interesting conversations happening there. So you can see in this match I'm kind of holding my Warhawk back a bit, letting my other guys soak up the damage before he gets in and does some goodness. You can see that even though my guys have pretty good damage for the most part, they're getting a bit low on strength. Okay, I'm actually going to send this guy around to knock off some armor, this siege archer, so at a future date I can actually kill her. It's always something you want to work towards. So at the moment he's got 4 big threats in play. He's got these 2 archers, this backbiter is probably the biggest threat at the moment, and this provoker. Those archers are going to become more powerful as my guys take more damage. Actually going to attack this backbiter, and then on the next turn I'll come around. I need to knock some strength off him basically, because he's too much of a threat as he is. And then I'll send my backbiter around to take out this siege archer. And this also clears up a lot of space, so now my my Warhawk can attack the provoker or come over here and actually whirlwind both. No, you can't tempest both of them. But he can attack everyone. Okay, so this is, I'd say this is a pretty bad move. If my Warhawk had no willpower, yeah, it doesn't even need willpower, so now I can come in here. And it doesn't matter because I don't actually have any willpower. But I can eliminate this nasty threat. So I'd say that's bad positioning there. If she moved more carefully, she would have been a lot safer. She actually basically moved into range of my Warhawk, so not the best move. So basically these two units here are ready to come around and attack this Siege Archer. And then I'll probably try to deal with the Provoker last. Do 4 damage to him, or I can knock off some armor here. 6. I'm not too worried about him right now. I'm going to soften up the Provoker for now. And then I can deal with this Backbiter once he's knocked some armor off some of my dudes. So this is kind of good actually. He blocked off this Backbiter from getting to his Archer, which is probably the major threat to be honest. But he has opened up this Thrasher from getting to him. But to be honest, that's not a big deal. All he can do is really knock off armor at this point. So pretty good play. I like it. Basically makes this Backbiter pretty useless for a little while. The Tempest didn't really do much, but damage is damage. As the game progresses, my Warhawk is just getting scarier and scarier because he hasn't even been touched yet. So that's the advantage of keeping him back. As the game goes on, if he has full strength, he just gets more and more scary. So you can see this Provoker doesn't have any armor break. He just did 1 armor break there, so you can see why he's having trouble hurting my dudes. Because he just can't bust through the armor to do any damage. My guess is he's... maybe he just doesn't really have armor break on anything except for spending willpower. So yeah, as I mentioned before, all these characters seem to have really high stats, but not much willpower. And it seems like they don't have much armor break either, so not the best stat distribution. If you've heard any of my casts before, you'll know that I love armor break. Like, I max out armor break on most of my characters. There's actually nothing wrong with this guy's play. I think his stat build's a bit off just because he doesn't have the amount of armor break that he needs to really be threatening. Should have actually moved my Archer up a bit, start to get closer to this Archer instead of just shooting him. I didn't actually need the yeah, I did need the bonus damage to kill him, but I didn't necessarily want to kill him. I'm slowly softening this Siege Archer off, and one day I'll be able to actually kill her. So I'm just chatting to him and saying how good armor break is. It's the best start of the game. It seems like, I don't know, this guy's armor has been slowly disappearing. I haven't been paying enough attention to know where it's gone, but it's definitely gone. Gonna basically waste a willpower here just so I can do an attack instead of not doing anything. I'm pretty confident that I've won this match. But he could still get in another kill, especially standing still and attacking this. Warhawk's going to do a ton of damage, probably kill him in 2 turns. Oh, so his Siege Archer actually has good armor break by the look of things. Interesting. So he's moved out of range of my archer. Not quite. So I can finish him off. Almost. I can put him down to 1. No! I can finish him off because my 1 willpower I had left. How am I doing for time? Probably have time for 1 more and then that'll be it for today.